All right. So here's our goal today, kids. Our goal is to create or to begin to create something that looks like what I'm holding in my hands right now. Okay. This is the paper collage project where we are going to cut out all of our shapes and eventually glue them to a piece of black paper, or in Unique's case, purple. Okay. Right. Or white or something. But most of you should have a nice several pieces of black paper, and all your colored construction paper is going to go on here. All right. Now, the thing is, here's the problem. Your drawing, okay, you used certain colors for your drawing, right? Correct? Yes. And the thing is, they may not have given you the same colors with your construction paper packet, right? Like, for example, I would need blue, purple, and red to make this. Okay. And then, of course, I'm going to have black construction paper for the background. But what if they didn't send me blue, purple, and red? What if they sent me blue, yellow, and orange? What if what if they sent me blue, yellow, and orange? Right? I've got colors that don't match my collage. My collage drawing. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Here's why. You just have to make substitutions in your mind. Okay. So, for example, I have blue. So everything that's in my drawing that's blue is still going to be blue in my collage. Okay, because I still have blue for blue. I do not have purple though. So everything everything in my drawing that's purple is going to be orange. I'm just going to substitute that right now. So purple equals orange. Okay? And then of course I have red, but they didn't send me red. So guess what? Everything that's red in my drawing is going to be yellow in my collage. Okay. So that's the first thing I have to have you guys decide. And you literally can, write this down on a piece of paper and just so you don't forget what you decided. So that's step one. Everybody has to make those decisions. So right now is what I'm doing. So I literally don't forget. Blue equals blue. Okay. I just wrote that down. Blue equals blue. Okay. And orange equals purple. Orange equals purple. Okay. And I said yellow would be my red. Yellow equals red because I have to switch it. So if you have a lot of switching to do, okay, you might want to make yourself a little chart. So take your symmetry drawing, the thing you've been working on so hard, all right, and take a pair of scissors, and I want you to cut out one quadrant, okay, the quadrant you colored. The quadrant you colored. If you colored all four, great. That means you have a choice, right? You're going to just cut, okay, simply one quadrant. That is what I'm doing right now. Okay. Cutting this quadrant. Boom. All right. There it is. I've cut it out. Okay, you can see where it used to be. Okay, and now the trick is don't throw anything away today either, because a lot of the things that you think are scraps are not scraps. Okay, so this is the thing I'm going to be using to like straight up. All right, straight up. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to think to yourself, what is my biggest shape in this quad? All right. It's kind of like the biggest thing that you have. And for me, it's this circle. It's this big blue circle. Okay. It's not a full circle. It's got some of it chopped off, but that's the biggest, most dominant shape. So what I'm going to do is I am going to cut out just this circle part. Okay. Which I know is going to wreck this triangle. Okay, and it's going to wreck this circle too, but I don't care. Okay, because the first thing I need to do is cut, and you're going to watch me do that right now. I'm going to cut this circle very carefully on the line. So you go and find your biggest shape also. It might be a circle, it might be a triangle, it might be a rectangle, whatever it is, just cut it out. Voila. Okay, this is the piece. Whoop, fell out of my hands. This is the piece I need. Do I need this piece? Yes, I need the extra piece too. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside for later. Okay, so I'm just going to put that aside. This is okay, my dominant color here is blue. Do I have blue? I do have blue. Blue is one of my colors. Blue for blue. Okay, so I'm going to take my big piece of blue paper, my big piece of blue construction paper, and here's the time saver. Fold your blue paper in half, just like we've been doing, you know, the past couple of weeks. Fold the blue paper in half and then fold the blue paper in half again. Fold the blue paper in half. Voila. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is change my camera view so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to put this right on top of here. All right, I'm going to change it so that you guys can see me drawing here. All right, so I've got my blue piece of paper on top of, what I'm going to do is just, hang on one second. I'm going to kill my virtual background here because it's making it a little bit trippy. So hold on a second. There we go. Okay. All right. So you guys can see my blue paper on top. I just put it on top of the black paper just so you could kind of, you know, follow along there and see it. Okay. You take your shape, the shape that you cut out, and you put it, this is a big shape, so it takes up a big chunk of my blue paper, okay? And I'm going to tuck it, actually, I'm going to tuck it right up at the top. Ooh, this is kind of smart, okay, because it already kind of fits that corner nicely. Okay, do you guys see that? I tucked it up at the top, okay? Like it fits right up kind of at the edge like that. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pencil now and I'm going to trace my shape. I'm going to trace it. Okay, now you might be tracing something a little bit smaller than mine. You have to trace the whole shape onto the color. Now, here's what's smart about this. Because I folded the paper first, when I cut this out, I'm going to get 4 of them, okay? And I do need 4 because I'm going to need to paste this in 4 different quadrants on my background color, which for me is going to be black. And for most of you is going to be black, except for a few people, maybe. All right, so now I'm going to remove this. There's my line, okay? And now I just take my scissors and I am just going to, keeping the blue paper folded, I am just very carefully going to cut on my line, which I am doing right now. Okay, I'm just going to cut it. And I'm still going to keep the scrap blue in case I need it for stuff later. Right? And look, 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I have all these pieces that I need for my collage, and I got them all cut out in one shot. Now we're back to this. Okay, now here's the thing. I can get more shapes out of mine. I don't know if you can get more shapes out of your quadrant, but I can get more out of mine, okay, that are not cut in half or anything weird. Now, last class, the last project I did, I actually had to go to quadrant 2. Like, I didn't have any whole shapes left in quadrant 1, believe it or not, okay, from my other design. So I actually had to go grab quadrant 2, and I actually had to start cutting from another quadrant. All right, you might have to do that. If you don't have another whole shape left over, you're going to have to go to quadrant 2. You're going to have to get another quadrant. You're going to have to cut your other whole shapes out of here. Okay, like for example, later on, I am going to have to go to quadrant 2 and I'm going to have to cut this triangle out because right now I don't have that triangle here. All I got is an itty bitty piece of it. See? Okay, but I do still have whole shapes on this. I have this purple triangle, which is a whole shape. I have this red circle, which is a whole shape, and I have this purple triangle, which is a whole shape. Okay, so I'm going to cut the other whole shapes out of this. Okay, that's what I'm going to do next. So if you still have whole shapes in that original quadrant, your next step is to cut out the whole shapes from this quadrant. If you don't have any more whole shapes, in other words, there's a cut through them or something, well, then you have to go back to your original drawing, cut out quadrant number 2, and pull your whole shapes from that. Okay, and you guys should basically have, let me just move my blue shapes over. This is what I harvested, like a farmer. Okay, I harvested these shapes out of that quadrant. Okay, so now kind of the same thing applies. I have to, you know, continue to cut these shapes. Now, I think I said to you, they didn't give me purple. I don't have purple construction paper. So I have to look and go, okay, purple is going to be orange, I had said. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now take this orange piece of paper, okay, and I'm going to fold the orange piece of paper, okay, in to quadrants, right? Because I want to be able to get 4 triangles out of it at once. This saves you a ton of work. Otherwise, and I'm going to remove my red circle for now. I'm just going to put him aside because he's not getting traced. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this purple triangle on my orange, because from now on, orange is the new purple. That's a joke. That's a joke some of you might have gotten. No? Nobody knows that show? Orange is the new black. Oh, thank you, Bella Zuniga. All right. Okay. Orange is the new purple. Okay. And I am going to trace this purple triangle ever so carefully. Okay. This is why you need a good workspace, because, if you're sitting on your bed, you may lose your pieces in your comforter. Okay. Got to be at a good workspace today, even if it's a corner of the floor. All right. Okay. There's my triangle. And now here's the thing, though, I want to say about this. Do you guys see this little tiny triangle that I have on here? That is so small. I can try to cut this out in one shot. In other words, I can trace it and try to cut out all 4 at once. But what happens is this gets so small sometimes that I feel safer cutting better triangles, since this is so tiny, like kind of like the size of my, the first, what do I want? Fold of my finger, this piece of my finger, right? It's about the length of my fingernail to the first knuckle, so to speak. I am just going to trace, or joint, not knuckle, but joint. I am going to just trace this triangle 4 times. I am just going to trace this baby triangle. It's so small that this one I want to cut out individually. So I am going to trace this one 4 times. Now, guys, I'm ready to cut my triangles out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the one that is going to reward me with 4 triangles at once. I'm going to do that one first. Okay, just by okay, there we go. All my triangles just fell. It's like very rewarding. I have to find my pencil line though, because they fell apart. Okay, let me put that back together. There we go. It's back together. Okay, now I'm going to cut that line. Boom. That's the perfect. There we go. These are my 4. You can see on the screen if you're watching me. I have 4 triangles now, all the right sizes. They can go into my pile with the blue shapes I cut out before. And of course, now I am going to cut out all 4 of these little baby triangles. So let me just get them out of here first. Just going to kind of, you can see I'm just kind of cutting them all out. Okay. There we go. There they are. And now I can just tackle them one at a time. So see, this is what I'm left with now, right? I have everything that I can harvest from this has been harvested. Okay. So this piece is not useless to me though yet. It's not useless to me though yet, because I might still need these half shapes, possibly, maybe not. But for now, I'm just going to put this aside. Okay, I'm not going to get rid of it. Don't get rid of it. Don't get rid of it. The only thing I haven't traced yet is my red circle. Okay, they didn't give me red, so yellow is the new red. Okay, I'm going to fold my yellow paper into quadrants. Okay, and then I am going to, let me go ahead and change the camera view here. I'm going to put that red circle, and this is kind of the question you were asking. In other words, once I trace this red circle onto the yellow paper and I cut out my yellow, I can cut out the blue circle. I can harvest that blue circle next, right? And that blue circle I can put on blue paper because I had blue. Blue was blue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trace this yellow circle. Okay, and now I'm going to cut my circles out, and I will get 4, which is nice because I'm getting 4 for the price of 1, so to speak. Okay, so now that gave me 1, 2, 3, 4. That gave me 4. Okay, now I'm not going to have time today to do that blue circle. So I will pick up basically from here next class. All right, so here's what you have to do, kids. All right, in this last minute or so, your job is to put all of your stuff together. All of the papers that you've cut, okay, keep the papers, maybe in different groupings. Like I'm going to keep all my stuff that's going to go in my collage in one pile. Okay. Something that's super, super small that I know is going to be a scrap I'll throw out. But I'm going to keep, I'm going to keep all my papers that I cut. I've got my leftover orange, and I've got my leftover blue, and I've got my leftover yellow. See, all that's in one pile. Okay. I'm going to keep all that together. And here's my little pieces that I've cut out. That's going to go in the pile too. Okay. And then I'm going to put all the little things I cut out, like basically every single thing except for something that is obviously a scrap, okay, is all going to go here. And then my drawing is going to go with it too. Okay. You keep all of this together, and you are going to tuck this in a notebook or put it on a high shelf in your room, or this needs to go in a safe place, the safest place you can think of, so that your little brother won't fling your shapes somewhere. Okay. Or hopefully you've got a spot in your bedroom that you can put this, aside. Okay. And not mix it up with your science homework. Okay. It is very important. I just tucked mine. I have my papers for period 1, and I have my papers for period 2. I'm being very careful. I'm being very careful not to mix up what I'm doing from one class to the next class. Okay. So do that. And once you've put everything away, it is 10 classes over basically at this juncture. So that's my last little bit. You are excused. Unless you want to hang out for a minute and ask a question. But other than that, you're basically good to go. And I'm going to stop the recording at this juncture. And thank you.